like medicine. Guys, I don't know why, but at lunch today, I have no plans of going anywhere, but I discovered Swoop and Flair Airlines, and you can go places for cheap.
Wait, you just found it out?
Well, I flew with Swoop to Vegas, and it was cheap, but I didn't know all the places. Like Flair, I could go too. I just have it open.
Yeah, but didn't they change your flights like multiple times and screw you over?
Yeah, but they also like sent me an email amongst the million other scam emails. So like at the end of the day, it is my fault, and I could fix the problem. But they didn't do anything to help me. Like the
right,
customer
you didn't check
service.
your email, right?
I checked it, but there was so many emails from them. Like there was no difference, no way to differentiate between the email that was like, "Hey, we have a great deal here for you to go to Mexico," and then also another. No, don't you, John? You.
What is he doing? What was he doing?
He's mocking me.
Roasting Jeff as usual.
Roasting all.
We should do a podcast with John one day.
Yeah, where we just sit there and roast him.
Yeah.
Guys, I decided, you know how for our birthdays at staff meeting, they always like give us a card and like our direct report says something nice about us.
I forgot. Yeah.
I'm going to do for you guys, but without explaining it, instead of saying nice things, I'm going to roast you. Just like a 5-minute roast.
What a loser.
Like, so Brett's so dumb because he does this. But see if anyone says anything.
And everyone will be mortified.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
5-minute roasts. I think a 5-minute roast.
5 minutes, that's such a long time.
That is a long time.
Not enough time. I got content for everyone.
That's a very long time.
It's better. It'd be better than when I did Brett's, and I told everyone that if you don't like Brett, you're a serial killer. There's something wrong with you. You're like a serial killer.
Yes, please.
Or something.
Are you having one?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, where are we going? Where are we flying? That we could go to Prince George
for $8.
How much is
they
a flight?
pay you to go to Prince George.
How much is a flight to Prince George? You can't wait. I can't fly from Edmonton to Prince George. I can go from Prince George to other places. So from Edmonton, we could go.
So we would have to drive to Prince George.
I guess.
A little road trip.
What has better options, Swoop or Flair?
Flair has more. Swoop only has like 6. It's like Vegas, Vegas to Mexico.
Any Orlando's in there?
No, there's more on Swoop.
Swoop right now only has.
But Flair can only fly out on like certain days of the week, right?
Yeah, even with Swoop, it's that.
Does Flair go to Orlando?
No. Wait, let me check.
Flair goes to Ottawa because we booked our flight.
Flair goes to Ottawa. In the States, LA. So me and Sage were looking at going to the LA Kings Oilers game sometime. Like, there's not one that we could do this year, but to go, it would be still pretty expensive. But like, you could get cheap tickets and fly there and come back the next day for $500. Yeah. Like, it's still $500 I don't want to spend, but like, it's actually not that crazy.
Each or for 2 people?
For 2 people.
Yeah. That's what Al and I did. We're going to my sister's wedding in July to Ottawa, and we're paying like, I think $550 round trip.
Dude, hey.
For both of us.
Okay, so the 4 of us, we could go to Ruben's old church in Kamloops tomorrow.
Why would we want to do that?
Why wouldn't we want to do
That's
that?
true.
What about San Francisco? Any like?
No.
What the heck?
But LA is not that far from San Francisco. Like, it's not that close, but we could rent a car.
I'd rather do Kamloops than San Francisco, to be honest.
I was in San
my buddy,
Francisco
Andrew,
the other day. I don't love it.
At the Apple building.
So many
Thank you,
Teslas in there. Every second
You're
car
welcome,
was
Brett.
a Tesla. Yeah, no, there's no flights to Kamloops. There's none
Just
available.
went through a whole sleeve already.
We could go to Quebec City, and then we could eat French food.
That'd be fun.
I heard Quebec City is actually really nice.
Quebec City is actually
It
really
is.
great. Yep.
I've
Best
heard
crepes I've had in Canada.
Well, we'll have to make
I've been silenced.
So I guess we'll be starting the podcast at some point in here. Whenever, can't even talk yet. Whenever the editing is happening, I have to like filter through like which stupid thing do we start at.
So Abby, you have to go
Yeah.
through the whole thing and then pick parts.
Yeah, so usually I take it.
I feel like it would take
and
forever.
I just it does.
Watch it at 5 times speed.
But I'll usually
Because
like
you say
yes,
a
yeah,
bunch
I
of
do.
stupid things, Brett.
I feel like they haven't been too bad,
yeah,
but like
Brett, we gotta
there's
ruin everything.
different parts in between where like I'll be like, yeah, okay, no, like we have to cut that. But usually when we're recording, I'm like, yes, like that's what I'm gonna use for like the main promo. So I do that first, and then.
And the main goal is to not have to do too many cuts. Like, it's long form, right? So you just kind of talk. As long as there's nothing, like, if I accidentally shared my PIN number or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would
May
do
happen.
that. Just start screaming it out. But yeah, no, it's. Oh, but next time, we will have hopefully a camera on Abbey
Nice.
because
I kind of
And
like
then the
being
world
a
will
looming
know.
you like
voice.
the
God, just kidding.
anonymity. So everything we said before this point in the podcast can't be used, and we do want to clarify that we do
man.
appreciate, we love Abbey. That's not why, like, it's not any reason
they're
that we
gonna
don't
think
like
we,
her
like,
because of the camera.
did something
We are
horrible.
working to get a camera for Abbey, but it's a lot more complicated than you think. So that's why she's just a voice of in the clouds.
Shrek got in before Abby got in.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
Doesn't help.
what is that?
You're not.
Puss in Boots got in before
You're
Abby did.
not helping my case. You're not helping my argument. Shrek doesn't have to switch the videos. Shrek's
That's
not
true.
producing.
Yeah.
Abby's super important.
Yes.
This apartment would break down without her.
It's true.
Literally,
It
actually.
would just be one wide shot or just on one of our faces the
The
whole
Like
whole
time.
that
time.
time when you and me were staring at each other on opposite ends of the table.
Yeah, what an,
Oh,
what an
yeah.
awkward
That was
thumbnail,
a-
huh?
in the boardroom.
Just both of us like just
I was on the
staring
YouTube
into
page. I
each
thought it was like a
other's eyes.
date.
saying the project is dead.
I actually really liked that podcast. That was just like all we did
No,
was
I was-
talk about how we both failed school.
I was saying when literally you and I were that brief moment when you and I were the only staff
Yeah,
and we sat on opposite ends of the boardroom table.
Haya had just resigned. It was her first day gone, and then Amanda hadn't quit yet and gone to King's, but she was
she
sick.
was
She had
gone.
COVID, or she thought she had COVID, and so we're upstairs in the literal boardroom at the opposite ends. Brett's on one end of the boardroom table, which is like 26 feet long,
Those were dark days.
and we're just staring at each other. And we're like, "So, do you know
What we should do.
what to do?" He looks at me. He's like, "You're the boss, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know what to do." We figured it out. We plugged the hole in the boat until we could get Abbey and Ruben on board. So it was like that was a weird 2 months.
And then in my mind, I said to myself, it's only a matter of time until it's just me.
You started to move a plan into
And
action
I-
to get rid of me.
And then I become the project.
like you just are the only staff, or you embody it. Like
I am.
Or
We become
you're-
one.
you fuse, you Super Saiyan fuse. That's a nerdy reference right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we made it. It's almost it's a year ago. Abby
Yeah.
and Ruben have
Wow.
almost been with us for a
For
year.
Guys.
What a time.
1 year.
Really?
There you go.
1 year.
When did you start, Abby?
April 23rd or 24th.
26th.
Did we have,
My official start date was July
I think
1st.
it was 26th.
so we had Abby
I think it was
before we had
24,
Ruben?
but-
We had Abby
Okay.
before we had Ruben?
I'm gonna figure this out.
On paper, yeah. I helped. I was overlapping.
Yeah, you
Youth
were.
and young
Yours was
adults.
confusing.
So I,
Oh, that
I
was-
spearheaded
I felt
the
bad for you.
I spearheaded the connecting point in the
Oh,
spring,
yeah.
but my official
was
date was
crazy.
July 1st.
Abby, your first Sunday was on the 24th, but you started
Crazy.
work on the 25th.
Well, I'd like to think that I thought I got paid for that Sunday. So, like a Sunday off in return.
On my first Sunday.
I mean, you started on the 22nd. You owe us a day of work, actually.
on my first Sunday.
In fact,
Let's just cancel
you're
your-
working this Saturday.
Let's just
because-
cancel your next in lieu day and we'll call it even.
Yeah.
There we go.
No,
No harm, no
no,
foul.
I'm just kidding.
On my first Sunday.
Let's keep talking over.
On Brett's first Sunday at the project, the wheel was
We
invented.
landed on the moon. We landed on the moon. That's what I was going to say.
I'll never forget. I don't know if that'll be able to do this story justice, but my friend Brennan, he's a pastor at another church in Beaumont, and he had his intern, like he was doing his internship half with the children's department at that church and half with me with the youth department. And I saw him, like it was his first day for this summer grant, and I come down and he's like cleaning a storage room. I'm like, how's your first day? He's like, why aren't you with the kids department? He's like, oh, they're at the zoo. They're at the zoo. And I thought he was just being dumb. I'm like, oh yeah, they're at the zoo. Yeah. Like we're just being idiots. Like, oh yeah, are they with the tigers or something? And then I just walked away. I was like, that was weird. Turns out
They were at the zoo.
They were actually at the
they
Edmonton
went on
Valley
a
Zoo.
field trip to the zoo and forgot it was his first day. So he like shows up to work, everyone's at the zoo, and then so I found out I'm like they were literally at the zoo. He wasn't just being stupid and trying to make me laugh. Can you imagine you go to your first day at your job? Oh, where is everybody? They're at the zoo. Just chilling with like, and at the Edmonton Zoo too.
Oh, it's the best.
When was the last time you guys were at the Edmonton Zoo?
I don't think I've ever been.
What?
I've never
No.
been to
What?
Edmonton Zoo.
I actually don't mind the Edmonton Zoo.
Staff field trip to the zoo. It is the worst.
Let's go to the zoo.
Connor McDavid-
Worst zoo.
Connor McDavid lives near the zoo.
No, Brett, we're not
He
going to
lives
stalk
in the
him.
zoo.
But he does.
I'm like, hey, Brett, look at that tiger. He's like in the bushes, like with
Also-
binoculars,
My mug smells really weird.
like coffee.
No, like it was sitting.
Like a tombstone.
Is that why we did this? Because
This mug has been sitting in my office, like stuffed in
Oh, that's
since
nasty.
Brett
thing
started.
for a long time.
It smells like a Hallmark or like a
Hallmark.
It smells like a hockey rink
wrap.
That's
Ew, that's
disgusting.
really
Okay,
gross.
We'll
That's
keep
not
drinking
good.
that, I guess.
or like a
Okay,
a gym or
hang
something.
on. Back to this zoo thing. You haven't been to the Edmonton Zoo?
No.
Oh, I have not been to Edmonton
The
Zoo.
Edmonton Zoo
Well,
is the place
I've
where
been,
dreams come true.
I've been to the Calgary
I've
Zoo.
been to the-
Yeah,
Yo,
that's not as
yeah.
good.
Oh,
No,
shit.
hey,
Calgary
no,
Zoo. No. Calgary Zoo is full of itself. It thinks it's so good. It thinks it's so great because it's expensive and they have legit animals that are legit cool. Or they may have tigers
that
and
are actually treated properly.
yeah. Listen, our elephant may be mistreated, but she paints pictures.
Did you know her name is not actually Lucy?
What is it?
It's something
Lucille.
else. But like
Goosey.
No. Okay, because the trainers. I have an actual thingy. So because everyone goes to the zoo and they're like Lucy over here, and like the trainers need to actually
Say her real name.
say her real name because they don't want to give other people her real
Well,
names.
then what's her?
So that Lucy, like every time like some like random kid is like Lucy, come over here.
She just starts
Lucy's
stampeding.
like, you know,
Right.
But like, so the trainers have a different name, so her name's not actually Lucy.
What is
we
it?
just think
I'm Googling
her name
right
is
now.
Can you
Lucy.
imagine we just dox?
What is Lucy? Okay. Oh, her name is Skanik. Skanik. Skanik.
Sounds like a tech
I
company.
don't think that's right.
No, it is. It says Lucy, also known as Skanik. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Arrived in Edmonton in 1977 from the Pinawala Animal Orphanage in Sri Lanka when she was 2 years old. Oh, she is old. She became an integral part of
How
the then named
old?
Storyland View. Listen, this is why Edmonton Zoo is better than Calgary Zoo. They may have like the cool animals. We have the American Crow exhibit. When I was going, you're walking through, it's just like a black American, it says American Crow. And to me, that just screams, they left the cage open and a crow flew in there and they said like, we got another one. And then they also had a guinea pig exhibit. It was just a big room full of guinea pigs.
Also called
We do
PetSmart.
A
random-
pet store.
We have random things.
It's like, and here's the kittens that you can adopt, and here's some pet food and goldfish. It's actually a horrible zoo. It's really sad.
but it's got heart.
It's sad, but it's so bad.
It's full of heart and injustice.
Yeah, zoos in general don't make me
Yeah,
feel great,
that's
but I
fair.
do I feel really high and mighty and judgy when I'm at the zoo until it's time to see the tigers, and then I'm all for it for that like 5 minutes because I think tigers are sweet.
There's a theme park in Tampa Bay called Busch Gardens, and it's half zoo, half like theme park. And on the zoo side, I went there with this one girl. I had like the biggest crush on her ever. Oh man, yeah. Anyways, so we went there, but I remember there was a gorilla. That was my first time seeing a gorilla in person, and it was like, and the gorilla was literally leaning right up against the glass, and I stared at that thing for so long, and like everyone wanted to leave. I didn't let like any kids like replace me. Like I just like its hands, its feet are hands, which is insane, and then its like its facial expressions were like human. Like it was, and it's freaking massive, and it was literally like me, the glass, and then the gorilla, and I was just like it blew my mind. Stared at the thing for a long time.
Brett, did you not know about monkeys before this?
It's different though when you see one like in person, and like not just like a little chimpanzee, like a freaking full gorilla.
Yeah, that sounds pretty surreal.
Dude, monkeys scare the absolute crap out of me. They're
I'm kind of
so
weird like that with animals, though. So
they are so scary. Like even the little ones, like the little, like they're mean. I saw a video on Instagram the other day of this little monkey. It's probably like smaller than a squirrel, and like they look cute. And you're like, oh, I want one. Like, I put it in my pocket and have it carry around, and they could do my like bidding for me and stuff like that. It'd be a lot of fun. But then you're like, you see this thing. They tried to give it a banana. You could feed these monkeys, and it's like, this is a little thing, and it reaches out, grabs the banana, misses it, and then reaches out, gets the banana, and just starts like shaking and destroying the banana and screaming and just
Nice.
and like if it got out of that cage, it would have like just flew across and like attacked someone's face.
Oh yeah.
Don't get a chimp. Those things are like stronger than 6 people, and their favorite pastime is ripping people's faces off.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how strong they actually are.
I've had great experiences with monkeys.
Can you elaborate?
Well, no, I've had the classic monkey on my shoulder. I'd feed it, pet it,
Where?
hang on to it. Thailand. But also in Thailand, I got picked up by an elephant. That was pretty cool too. By this trunks and just kind of flipped you up.
Natalie loves. That's actually so
Yeah,
cool.
was
elephants are cool.
And then we got to ride.
We had a
elephants.
girl.
That's actually crazy.
We had a girl in Cambodia get attacked by. This shouldn't be funny. She got attacked by a monkey, and then she had to get rabies shots, and then she got bit by a turtle.
Nice.
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
week later,
Oh
and she
my
like lost her mind. But like the monkey that could easily have rabies didn't do any like emotional damage, but getting bit by a turtle put her over the edge. And then we kept the turtle, and then our friends ate it. We're like,
Come on,
this is
poetic
our
justice.
turtle friend, and then it was gone, and we're like, where is it? They're like, V and Tom are eating it over there, because eating turtles is really not that.
Turtle soup.
One time for Fear Factor, because no youth group has ever done Fear Factor before. We did Fear Factor in Beaumont, but we did my final one was to get turtles from TNT Market, and I thought that they were gutted, but they weren't. They're just like full frozen turtles. So I was like, how do I serve this? Like, do turtles have like diseases? Is there a proper way to prepare this? So I just boiled it on high for 4 hours, and then scooped all the insides that were just like a jelly, put them in the turtle shell, and served them to the kids.
Oh.
And we served them to the kids with Trebi, who goes to the project now, was one of our youth leaders. He came out dressed up as a ninja turtle and served them to all the kids. And
Oh my gosh.
It was
That is so messed
it was
up.
an immersive experience.
That's
They'll never forget it though.
that is.
It was weird.
That's yeah. Wow.
It was yeah.
We did Fear Factor at youth here at this church, and this kid will remain nameless because he wants to be. But the challenge was to fish out a goldfish, put it in your mouth, and then run this obstacle course, and then like spit the fish back out. But while he was running, he tripped, and he fell and accidentally swallowed the goldfish,
Oh my gosh.
and looked at me like he was about to die.
PETA would not be happy with that.
PETA. I don't like.
PETA.
I'm not a fan of PETA. I'm not a fan of the organization, and I'm also not a fan of the character from the Hunger Games.
Yeah, but are you a fan of the carb?
Yeah, that's the most important question.
Pita bread.
Oh, boo! I am. That is
Well,
that is
one
my
out of
one.
3.
That is my one PETA exception. Listen, you can be all for whatever you want, but I strongly believe in my right as a Canadian citizen to swallow goldfish in obstacle courses.
Yeah, it's my $2.30.
Yeah, they're so dirty. They're messy. I bought one for my office one time, like 3 of the black. I don't know why they're black, but they're called goldfish still. The big googly-eyed looking ones.
Oh yeah, I used to have one of those.
And I had like 3, and within 2 days, like if you don't clean that tank every 2 days, it just turns into a cesspool. It's so gross.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Fish are a terrible pet, like birds. If you like birds, that's a red flag for me. My sister had a cockatiel, and I wanted to just let that thing out the window every day.
I feel bad for the bird.
Yeah, setting him free would have been the right thing to do.
Seriously.
Out into -40. This tropical bird. Be free.
Be free, chickadee.
I saw this video on TikTok the other day. It was some guy who I don't know how it starts at this point, but the guy is I'll maybe find it if I can. Hopefully I can and we can show it. But it's like this trucker like in a big semi truck, and he's like, "All right, I got to get this turkey out of my truck." And there's like a wild turkey that had gotten into the back seat of his truck. And then finally it cuts to the next scene, and he has his door open. He's like, "All right, get out of here." Kind of grabs it and throws it onto the road. And it immediately gets hit by a car at like on the highway at like 100 kilometers. Then it cuts to another. He's like, "Whoa, that was crazy." Immediately cuts to another guy's TikTok the guy who had hit the turkey. He's like, "You're never going to believe what happened. I got a turkey that hit me at 100 miles an hour. It's just blood everywhere." And like the turkey got messed and like it exploded the windshield.
Oh my gosh.
Like turkeys are big animals.
I know. I used to have a friend in high school that lived on this like acreage, and I guess like a really big turkey like went into his backyard, and he had like a arrow gun, like a legit
a bow and arrow.
no, like the gun, like the
Crossbow.
Yeah, and but like a legit one that could like kill someone.
I think all of them can.
Now one of those little kitty ones, you know,
Not the suction cup one.
Yes, a little Nerf dart.
So, but he went and he shot the turkey. The arrow went all the way through the turkey. And then the turkey ran away.
Yeah, that's not a big enough broadhead. He probably had to practice.
It went through the turkey.
Yeah,
and it lived. How crazy is that?
Well, I think it might have died eventually.
Yeah, it's probably like
old age or something.
But he showed me the arrow, and it was like full of like blood and feathers.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you shoot something through a bird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anatomically, that makes sense.
I just went through the turkey.
This podcast is brought to you by PETA and the Friends of PETA.
and PETA Pit.
Yeah, I was going to say the bread. We're
Yeah.
talking about the bread. We're not talking about the organization. They're probably not too happy.
No.
I like them.
Love me, Jimmy the
We're not
Greek.
fans. Yeah, we don't. Let's move on. I guess we only have so much time. Don't have a 2-hour podcast if we can help it. But
We're doing the people a favor
yeah, how so?
by going short.
We're going short. Yeah. So yeah, because everyone has to listen to the entire thing from front to.
No, I put
front to
chapter markers, so
Oh, that's
anyone
smart.
in theory could skip all of
the,
this.
half the
Yo,
chapters.
good job.
Half the chapters are titled "This is a waste of your time." Just Jeff talks about something stupid.
Please skip this.
If you're a vegetarian, do not watch this. What? Okay, last.
Yeah, I'm curious what you would title the chapters from all the random things we talk about.
Honestly,
they just kind of
describe
like, I don't know. They make you can go and look, but
It'd be like
they just
Brett talks about his looking at a
like I
gorilla
think I
for
called
hours.
the one with like the coffee. I think I just called it the war on Brett's coffee because like it was just
Was a war.
conflict and,
On
and
Brett's
war.
coffee.
Brett's
Uh,
coffee
And
that
that's what it
smells
was.
like.
And here he is drinking coffee black.
Here I am.
Hey, look at you go. Do you hate it?
I don't mind it. I'm just scared I'm gonna get sick from my mug.
That's a different story.
That's
That's not our fault.
Unrelated.
That's why maybe you think coffee tastes like tombstones.
Because you've been
Your
Out of
cup
dirty
was
mugs.
from a graveyard.
Yeah.
or like a hockey bag, apparently.
Are we putting
That's
mugs
gross.
in our hockey bag? Anyways,
Yeah. So, anyways, we wanted to chat a little bit about our upcoming series, just kind of in general. Obviously, Easter's coming up, which is the holiday that always sneaks up on me because honestly, why can't we just? I'm sure there's some like philosophical, logistical, theological even reason that I'm not thinking of, but like, why can't it just be like the same week every year? Like that's I'm like, is it the first week of April? Is it?
Yeah, it does.
is it March?
Is it when?
Like,
Is it June?
I don't,
honestly,
I don't.
did I
think-
miss it?
It's Father's
And then
Day.
I never know when Lent starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why is Easter?
Well, if you missed Easter, then you missed Lent.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
so
why
it's
does it
just a
change?
small
No, you could start Lent for the following year. Just extend it.
extended Lent.
So it's never.
I was thinking of Lent. That's why I'm not a big fan of that.
What day is Easter on this year?
April 10th.
It's on April. No.
Is it the 9th? I thought it was the 9th.
Uh,
Or no, that's good.
So it can-
I
No,
don't
you're
know.
right. It's the 9th. It's the 9th.
Easter is a movable feast. Never heard it called that before.
Movable
A
feast.
movable feast, portable feast, if you will. So it doesn't have to be on the
gonna
same
say,
date from year to year.
Welcome to our movable feast.
In the Gregorian calendar, whatever that is.
Gregorian.
it is-
Gregorian? Yeah.
What's a Gregorian? What is
In
it?
the Greg Orion.
What's a
calendar.
Who's Gregory?
Why does he have a calendar?
Gregorian.
Gregorian.
Sounds like a transformer. Gregorian. It's always observed between Sunday, the 22nd and April 25th. But why? What determines it?
It's weird.
The first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the spring equinox. What was that? Hey. Peanut gallery sitting over there.
Snippets.
Yeah. So that's it. That's why. Easter. But it is coming up. And what day is it on this year? Do we remember?
April
ninth.
9th.
The 9th.
April
Yeah.
9th.
It
So
is.
that's sneaking up.
Look at
I missed it by a day.
I know
Sorry.
all my dates.
Yeah. Well, and today we're filming. It's March 8th, which is, still basically a month away yet, or a little more.
Month and a day.
But it's coming up quick, and obviously we're a church. So being a church,
Huge
it's
Easter
it's a
fans.
minor day on our calendar. It's the most significant
super
day in
lucky.
human history.
It's just another Tuesday.
Yeah, as far Good Tuesday, Good Friday, Easter Sunday,
Mediocre Monday.
and moderate. No, it doesn't alliterate. Just Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Moderate Monday.
Moderate
Yeah.
Monday. But yeah, so with that coming up, it's significant, and for pastors, it's always kind of like one of those things where it's like, yeah, like we're so pumped about this, but there's so many moving pieces. Not so much of the project because we kind of like piggyback off of the major presentation that we do here at Hope City, which is obviously the larger
Everyone's eating
organization.
Easter dinner with their families.
Yeah, it's a Sunday
Except for
night.
us.
Woo, sorry, Mom, I'm not coming home.
Come to
We're
the
at the
please
project
please come to the
going
project
strong.
April
Please,
9th.
please, we're begging you.
Hope City Easter. We should probably plug that. Hey,
Yeah, we should.
When is
Everyone
it?
come to Easter.
I saw the cards
April
today.
9th.
No, I know.
It's the same
Well,
time.
and the whole shenanigans.
Anytime on
Good
April
Friday.
9th to just show up
I
at
think
midnight.
it's just the same. Is it not the same?
Same
right
times.
here.
that we always have?
So on Easter, April 9th, Easter Sunday.
And
It is regular.
And Good Friday, April 7th,
April
Yeah.
7th, Good Friday.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
All campuses.
And actually, me and Abbey are going to be part of the speaking team for that one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
For Good Friday?
Project X Hope City.
yeah.
Project represent.
Let's
5
go.
minutes. We only have 5
5
minutes. And 5
Every
minutes each.
every pastor's dream.
We got, hey, can you fit a lot of content and be engaging into this
It was
incredibly
so
short
funny. I
amount
was
of time?
telling my mom about it, and she's like, "Abby, that's barely enough time for you to like introduce yourself." I'm like,
What are you trying to say?
Well, that's all they want you to do is introduce yourself. That's what they want.
Just a brief synopsis. My Wikipedia profile. But yeah, no, if
we
you're
should make each other Wikipedia profiles. Anyways, sorry.
if you're watching this or listening, you're definitely invited. Even if you're only been at the project at this point, we put a lot of effort as a larger church into our Easter stuff because Easter is like one of the most important days it's the most important event in human history, and it's a huge day for the Christian calendar. And it's basically Christmas and Easter, right? Like those are the two big ones. So we put a lot of work. We used to do this huge Christmas Easter music. It's just it was a real mess until we figured out that they're separate holidays. No, we used to do this Easter musical that I was in. I think all of us probably had, well, anyone that was a part of it before COVID, and it was massive. Like it was like probably 100 people working into like
Yeah, it was massive.
a full play. And it's not happening anymore. We're putting all that effort into kind of more of a modern or contemporary kind of presentation, but it will be really, really good. So yeah, like you can go to hopecity.ca, and I believe slash events
Easter,
slash event.
weekly? I
No,
don't
slash
know.
just go Google Hope City Easter,
Easter.
but you can go to hopecity.ca slash event, and
Is it event or events?
event slash Easter @hope
Just go to
city
hopecity.ca.
/
A lot of dashes.
We can even probably put it in
We'll put
post
it-
on
yeah,
the screen
it's-
or a
it's
QR
there
code or
somewhere.
something. Come, just show up on Sunday morning. It'll be
Anytime.
worth it. And then hopefully you come that night to the project. But we know a lot of people are going to be having ham and turkey and whatnot with their families. But if you'd like to escape your family,
Scallop
that's a great.
potatoes,
Yeah.
anyone? Can
Yeah.
I get anyone for
Yo.
scallop
I'm a scallop
potatoes?
potatoes
I love
fiend.
scallop
I love
potatoes.
those.
Come on now.
I don't know what
Throw a
they
little
are
cheese on there.
or how
So
to do
good.
them. They confuse me and upset me, but I
But I
enjoy
love
them.
them.
They are good. So Easter's coming up, and I think that Easter's for me, if I'm being honest, when I think of Easter, even outside of being a pastor, and you like have more work, and that kind of comes to mind. But I feel like Easter, when I compare it culturally to Christmas, it kind of gets like the short end of the stick. right? Because there's no
Yeah.
presents, like chocolates.
There's Easter eggs. I didn't. My family didn't really do that.
We did when I
No.
was like, my mom will still give me like some Easter eggs or something, but like it was never, when I was a little kid, we did it and it was fine, but like it was never a huge deal to me. But it's funny because it is the most significant day, but we don't really celebrate it with much fanfare. Like it's just like a dinner. Where Christmas, it's like an entire month of celebration. No, most
2
most
months
of that.
even
Yeah, for
some
some
crazy people.
some people some people dress up as a Christmas
them
tree for
crazies.
Halloween.
September, they're just
Putting up the Christmas tree in July, man.
Well,
just leave it up all year.
I have a confession. Last year we haven't decorated our house because we're renting and we just don't want to hang. I don't want to put any damage on the wall or anything like that. So we haven't even hung any pictures really. And there's some weird rules with our landlord. Like you have to use like that command strips, but then they fall down. So we didn't do it. But we did hang up kind of on our door a wreath. Like it's simple. Like I didn't
Nice.
even know it was up. We just forgot about it, and it became a part of our house. So like a month ago, I was just sitting on the couch. I looked over at the door, and I'm like, "Was that a Christmas wreath that's been there for a year and a half?" Like, it's the only decoration in the house is this Christmas wreath, and it's been there. We never took it down. You can't. You don't have to go through the work of decorating if you never take down your decorations.
There you go.
Actually, I have a question for all of you.
Okay.
Okay, Natalie and I don't have a single photo of ourselves in our house. Is that weird?
And you
Is that high
own
five?
your own home?
Yes.
That's weird.
We don't have a single. No.
Okay.
I feel like it's weird if you own-
Okay, but would you not agree with me that it's super tacky to have photos? Also,
yourself?
kind of like narcissistic.
I was about to say it's like psychopath behavior.
like
Look at the
I don't
Hall
want to
of-
look at a.
look
I don't
at the
want to look
Hall
at a
of
photo
Jack.
of
I'm actually curious
myself.
to know if Ruben does, like as a minimalist.
Ruben's got a whole room.
Yeah.
Ruben's got like
a whole room.
a mural. Ruben's got like a mural of
No,
himself
it's like it's a full wall.
right above his bedroom.
And if
And
you,
it's just him. It's not a Landra.
but it's a million pictures of
It's
Ruben,
him
and you
eating
take
a
a step
cluster
away,
of grapes.
One massive
and it's
picture.
one big picture.
I know. It's
a
a
collage.
It's the Landra feeding him grapes.
So Ruben, you can answer the question. that
We
we're answering
do.
for.
We have a wedding book, and we use it as kind of like on our coffee table, and we put
Okay.
like ornaments on top.
Okay, that's the way you guys do it is fine. Because I've been your guys' place,
Yeah.
and it's like it looks good.
But
Like I like the way
plastering
you
your
guys have
walls.
decorated things.
Yeah, we don't have any framed things on our walls with us. We do like on the bottom of our like where our TV is. We have like a ledge at the bottom, and we have like one little small frame of our wedding picture. But it's like with like plants and stuff like that. So it's not like it's not the focal point of our decor, but it's
Fair.
there. And then we just have like our wedding book as like a coffee table thing with like a bowl and like ornaments. Ornaments on top. Yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah,
So-
I like the way you guys have decorated.
I'm not really a knick-knack guy. You don't really do that type of stuff. Like,
Just not knick-knack
you're
guy.
just like,
If he is a knick-knack guy, then it's up for a year and a half.
yeah. Well, I didn't even put that one up. I didn't even recognize
I don't
it
know
was
his
up.
knick-knack, but when I do,
I commit.
You know,
It's,
Jeff, actually,
18 months.
I think the Shrek would fit quite well in your home.
I think so
Yeah.
too. I don't think Sage would even
You wouldn't even bat
have
an
a
eye.
say. Just I super glued it
okay.
to the wall. It can't come down now.
Ever.
It's there. It exists. It's a part of the house. No, I don't have. I don't. We don't even. Me and my wife don't even take pictures
Me
together.
neither, dude. That was
I don't have any pictures.
I hate family photos or
Oh, I
couple photos.
know.
Like,
Fair.
like I don't
Okay.
want all that stuff. Like, I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Do your parents? We're off at
no.
Easter. Do your parents or like family at like Christmas dinners and stuff try to take pictures right when it's time when like my
about to
family
eat?
we're mid meal and that's when it's like okay everybody picture
Well-
time. I'm like we're got like mashed potatoes and steak. I'm like, oh, happy birthday. Like it's
Okay,
gross.
I don't think there's anything wrong with taking photos, like family
Like
photos
candid
and
ones?
couple photos. Yes, and
But-
and like
But
you have
everybody
it
look and
stored,
smile.
and you have it stored in your laptop and you're on your phone and stuff.
Sure,
and you
yeah.
can look at those memories and you can enjoy that and stuff. But to like
To like pose.
to
gotta-
like be like. I feel like it should be like a file that you have and you can reflect back on it.
No, I think it
over
should
the
be
years.
a file that doesn't exist. file that doesn't need to happen.
Like,
Deletes
I
it.
like looking back at like candid pictures of my family and stuff. I think it's at the point now because like my brother's a professional photographer, so it's just always expected that we're gonna take pictures, and it's
Abby's
just always
brother's like the
stressful.
coolest guy ever.
I can't. I don't.
I
want
love her brother.
Professional.
So
I have a man crush on Abby's brother. I'll just admit it right now.
Hi,
You're a
Nathan. I don't know
big
if you
photography guy.
He probably
love you.
is not going to watch this.
Candid
probably
photos are fine. The photo shoots are too much for me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's like when you're all like either monochromatic or you have some sort of common denominator color.
Yeah, and
in the
it's
whole
like
family.
I didn't want to wear
It's
this.
like a pop of
no
red
one
in
wants to
every
be
family
wearing
member.
what you're wearing. No
Yeah.
one wants to smile.
I just hate that
Do,
stuff.
do any of your families, like, it's not just my mom, it seems like it's anyone in my family over 50. It's like, okay, time for a picture, and it's like they have the cell phone out, and like, when I take a picture on my phone, it's like, all right, on, click, picture, good. You maybe change takes 3 seconds. I'm talking like, you're smiling, and you're stuck in time.
Or-
it just takes 25 seconds.
People like couples or families that take. I feel like I'm kind of like ruffling some feathers here,
We're gonna get
but
some
like,
hate in the comments, guys.
I don't
none of the
care.
other adults,
Any
none of the
other
people
adults
are
are
family
gonna
photographer?
care.
Those people are wrong.
No. All the people that actually listen to this podcast, I feel like will agree with me.
Put
like,
it in the comments. Also subscribe.
How do you know?
well, because
Yeah,
they're all
who-
young adults.
Who's listening?
But like no, okay. Another one is like when people like families that take Christmas photos and then they put it in a postcard and then they send it to you as a Christmas gift. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Like we just did this year
Say
at
thank you.
Cabela's.
Okay, yeah, but
okay, but we did it. We did it with class,
And we also did it in an ironic
and
way.
I got to wear my llama.
yeah, we were actually dunking
Sure.
on
Okay.
it.
Sure.
We were sincere, but it was kind of ironic.
So here's my thought too. Like, it's actually being at a larger church than before at Hope City, it's been less. But when you're at a mid-sized church, every single family sent me one of these things to put on your fridge. It was like 100 pictures, family photos.
what are you supposed to
in the
do with it?
How big do you think my fridge
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
How many fridges do you think I own? I would have just plastered it. It would have I'd have no room.
And then
It'd
you
be a
feel guilty when you throw it out because
No.
you feel like
No,
you're
no, no.
throwing them
I-
out.
No,
Send a picture
no,
of
no,
Ruben
no,
in
I
the
enjoy
garbage.
it.
I don't
in
feel
the
guilty.
garbage.
Now I enjoy it. I
feel guilty when I do it.
Really?
You need to grow some
But
callus.
I still do it every time.
Give me them. I will burn them. I enjoy it. Just like a big garbage can full of family photos. Just
Different
gasoline,
families.
a little bit of lighter fluid. Gone.
So Easter.
Well,
What a
I feel
rush.
like I brought us. Down
I
a
feel
rabbit hole.
guilty. Oh well, let's go to Edmonton Zoo.
We will.
Yeah, that'll
Let's
make us
feed
feel
all
better.
the pictures to the animals at
It's
the zoo.
sustainable.
Lucy can paint on there. No, but Easter.
Wow.
Easter is like Easter.
Wow, he that was like a U-turn, man.
That was
Yeah,
how's that for a segue? That's an illegal U-turn. Very
Very
aggressive.
illegal in rush hour.
But yeah, like I do think that in all seriousness that Easter.
John's leaving.
See you, John.
By John.
Hi, John.
Easter gets a bit of a it does. It gets kind of ignored, right? Because it's not as exciting, but it is like incredibly significant. Like it's literally. I
Yeah.
keep saying it's
In what way?
the most important day in Christian history in the sense of like without it, it's the moment of all of the old, like the entire Old Testament is basically funneling towards the promise of Jesus.
Yeah.
And then hits Jesus coming, and then the New Testament is Jesus fulfilling all the promises that were being funneled and kind of directed towards in the first half of the Bible, and then fulfilling all of them, and then the finality, the grand finale of that is Jesus being like crucified. And then rising from the dead and fulfilling that promise of what was to come, and really like as far as the technicalities and the mechanics of the theological understanding of our forgiveness for our sin is huge. Like that's it. That's the point. That's the whole point of everything that happened for thousands of years. And then of course after that it goes to something like. It goes towards more like the church, starting with Acts, and then continues with us today, right? But like this is the most important thing in our lives. Frankly, if you're a Christian, without this, nothing matters. If that moment didn't happen, if first of all the death, being marked by Good Friday, his death on the cross, and then the celebratory nature of Sunday, Good Sunday, Better Sunday,
Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, like that's without that, like. I know that we promote it and we like acknowledge it as the celebration of that, but we really don't celebrate it. Like
Yeah.
our attitudes, I feel like it's very much like it's almost obligatory from what I've seen. And that's I'm not just judging other people. I think for me, it's kind of like, all right, like, cool. Okay, let's get over with. And we kind of miss, I think it's very similar to what we do or can do, hopefully don't, with communion, which is very similar, right? Representative of what Jesus did on the cross. It's just another ritual. It's another cycle. It's another thing we do yearly or monthly or whatever the pattern is. And we really miss the value behind it. Like, I don't know, is that just me or do you guys have that too? Or notice it? No?
I find or do you want to go first?
Oh, you're good, man.
Yeah, I just find I like reflect a lot more during Easter time than I do during Christmas time. Like Christmas is like fun and it's like yeah, it is more like showy and it's more of a cultural event for us in the West than Easter is. A lot less people celebrate Easter, but I find for me personally, like I reflect a lot more during Easter because of the significance of it, like what you're saying. And part of me is like, is it a bad thing that it's not as much of this like super commercial like thing? Because I just think of Christmas and what Christmas has turned into of like this huge like money making thing where the majority of the people that celebrate it probably don't even realize what they're celebrating. And it's like, is it a bad thing that Easter doesn't have that exact same kind of like cultural phoniness to it? And it does seem like it's a bit more like the people that do celebrate it actually know what they're celebrating, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I just think that sometimes we miss it because there's not.
Yeah.
Like Christmas, you can't miss. Like it hits you in the face.
Right.
December.
Yeah, totally.
And then you kind of like, you're almost forced. But you're right. You almost have to like find the purpose of Christmas within the chaos, where Easter, there's
so much other stuff.
You have
that's
to be
been
more. You
added
have
to
to be
it.
more intentional with Easter,
Right.
which is what I'm kind of was saying. Right, is that you have to be more intentional. But when you do it right, it is a little bit more like there's more depth, maybe, or it's easier to find the depth.
Yeah.
But what about you?
When you do it right, I think the anticipation to Easter is so much more beautiful because, let's say, for example, Christmas has Advent, Easter has Lent. And when you take a part of Lent, 4 days before Easter, when you take a part of it, it kind of creates this beautiful anticipation for Easter. And then when Easter comes, it becomes that much more beautiful and you can like savor it. Not savor it, but just remember or just have just a greater perspective of what Jesus did on the cross. And yeah, what Jeff said was right. And I think like Easter is the pivotal point of Christianity. Christianity wouldn't have been birthed if it wasn't for Easter. Because, if you take Old Testament prophecies and claim to be Messiah and then die, then anyone can do that.
Lots of people did.
Yeah.
Probably still do.
So the fact that, he died and rose again kind of just solidified what he was saying was true. So, but yeah, it's easy to miss. But once it's there, once you have the perspective to enter into it, is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more important than I think we give value to. And maybe I'm just being honest with myself or being vulnerable here a little bit, but like I think it's just the easiest it's the easiest one to miss because nobody's really asking you about your Easter plans like they are other
Right.
things. I would say that I get way more people asking me, and I'm not a big Halloween guy, not because I'm like, oh, it's evil and I'm scared of it or something. It's not my thing. But like people ask, oh, what are you doing you doing anything for Halloween? I don't get a lot of like, you doing anything for Easter? Like I think people just assume maybe that's because it's a little
becoming
bit more,
less and less so.
and it's because it's
as well.
more family celebration. Like there's you don't have like a friend. People have like Friendsmas and stuff like that, or just like create little like traditions. But and there's like specialty dinners at restaurants like booked around it. Like they schedule specials around that and TV shows and. But I do think that it's because it is maybe a little more private by nature, so you don't talk about it as much. It's not as hyped up. But within our calendar, it's like you said, like there's something really beautiful about Easter, and I think it's such a great opportunity to like. The danger is that we've seen this in church attendance trends across the board, not just with young adults, but there's so many people who are willing to come to Easter and Christmas that would never come to church, or they have no problem with church, but they see no reason outside of those major celebratory, moments in the year.
Yeah.
And, like for those people, it's worth coming to, but they maybe are missing. So that's a problem, because you're missing out on being able to do this all the time. And my fear or my concern would be that people just do it as like a yearly top up of the tank, right? That's what that becomes. But the reflectiveness, the beauty that you were talking about, Ruben, is there. That opportunity is there daily, right? Like communion is not just something you do once a month or whatever. The church, different churches do it differently. Here on Sunday morning, they do it once a month, the first Sunday of the month. And that's just good to do. But communion is not meant to be something to remember what Jesus did, to like really count the cost of this incredible act, that, gift that's given to us. That's something we're supposed to do every day and like remind ourselves of. And that's what the meaning of Easter is. It's not like, oh, this was the day it happened, so we should, celebrate it right now and focus in on it and then go on with our life. It's a reminder that every day should be a memory, should be a remembrance, should be communion. Communion should be in our heart everywhere we go. Easter should be in our heart everywhere we go. And I think just because of the busyness and the nature of our cyclical yearly cycles of things, that we just don't think that way. At least I don't know about other parts of the world, but our culture certainly doesn't. And I have to like, if you want to focus in on those things, and if you want to truly live out, sounds kind of cheesy, but Easter in your heart year round, you have to be really intentional about it. Like it's more of a discipline than anything. And that's the marker, I think, of a true disciple, is that's the lens you look at every element of life through. Is the lens of Jesus died for me on the cross, and there's an incredible debt that I was supposed to pay, but I didn't have to. Like that's not just a part of your life, that is your life. And so like, for people that have near-death experiences or, overcome cancer and stuff like that, it changes their perspective. Every day is a gift, every day. Like that's a similar perspective that we should have as far as our spiritual life, because it's even more significant. We avoided eternity separated from God. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
And we talk about it and you kind of capture it, but I think we just kind of get busy.
Well, it's like one thing I've kind of learned, and I feel like it's kind of like a popular saying that a lot of preachers say, but just like we have to preach the gospel to ourselves daily. Like preaching the gospel isn't just something for non-Christian people who are, hearing the message of Jesus for the first time or something, like, but it's for Christians too, because we need that reminder daily of the sacrifice that he paid. And it's like so true what you were saying, because it's always the most important thing, right? And it's always needs to be the it's like our firm foundation, right? No matter what type of season we're in. So I know for me, that's something that I'm always trying to remind myself is like, I need to be preaching the gospel to myself daily. Like I need to be reflecting on this as much as possible. And when I find when I am able to do that, and it is like a discipline, like you were saying, I feel like I'm so much more grounded in like, it affects every area of my life in a positive way, So
what you're saying is we should every day watch the entirety of the Passion of the Christ. just every morning before I get out of bed.
Yeah, I do.
Finish watching it.
Yeah, that's a prerequisite for being a pastor. It's my favorite movie.
It was a full Vanguard course.
Yes.
I just kept watching
Whole
it.
Bible college course on every 2 days we watch the Passion of the Christ. Yeah, no.
That is great advice.
But it's true. You can't just watch a movie once a year and say like, oh,
that was nice. Thanks for doing that, Jesus.
We did
See
it.
ya.
High five, Jesus. It's all right.
Yeah.
Doing my own thing now. And that's the hard thing with especially the young adult stage of life. Like it never gets really easier, but there's so many things that are coming at you. There's so many things to be worried about. There's so many things that you have to focus on that it's difficult to do it the right way.
I have to go.
Yeah. I do too.
Me too.
So yeah, that's our talk on Easter and a million other
Imagine
things.
I just sit here alone and just.
That's our
speak
5-minute talk on Easter.
Now we got 15 minutes on it. You know,
One last plug though, if you are listening, like Hope City does a great job doing Easter services, and like we talked about, you know, Jesus laid out all these different things like communion, the church integrating baptism, Easter, whatever monumental thing that we take as remembering is implemented in our daily lifestyles. But coming together on Easter Sunday will be just a beautiful milestone, beautiful reminder that hope was a concept pretty much turned into reality. And so when we come together, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be awesome. And so yeah, this is our official invitation.
yeah.
Yeah.
See you
Wait,
there.
are we doing like it's normal times, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
So
normal service times.
11:30.
8:45, 10, 11:30 at Millwoods, 10 a.m. at Twilliger, 10 a.m. at Kingsway.
And go to hopecity.ca for all the
Love it.
information.
/Easter, I just checked. It's fine.
/Easter.
Yeah.
That means there's multiple
There we
pathways.
go. Many ways to
Can't
get
go
there.
wrong.
But usually we have like a good crew sitting in the third service at Millwoods. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that will probably be a thing.
Yeah,
on
we'll
Easter.
put something out on social
So-
media as far as like come sit with
So
us
come
type
sit with
thing.
us. You don't have to sit alone.
Reserve a seat. So stay tuned for that type of stuff. All right. Well,
Happy Easter.
see you later.
I guess. Okay.
See you later.